everybody, Kara's here. I'm in my tree. I haven't visited my tree in a long time. I've been very busy and I also haven't posted in a while, and I'm sorry about that, but there are shifts. Everything's changing for everyone, myself included, so there hasn't really been time, but I'll be getting back on it now, and also a bunch of other stuff is in the works that I'll be keeping you updated on. Anyway, what I would like to tell you about is my visit last night from off-planet friend, I guess. Well, yeah, it definitely was a friend because I wasn't afraid. And I feel super strongly that I'm supposed to share this with you all because I don't know how many other people this is happening to, and the only reason that I know that it was what it was because I'm kind of well versed in this phenomenon because of all the study I've done and because I have other experience with it. But this was the first lucid, real-time, know when it happened, don't wonder about it afterward, and then need to research and find out if it was real experience I've had with an ET, an alien. Yeah. So what happened was, I was sleeping, it was the middle of the night, and I woke up very clearly, and there are theories about what that could have meant, but I'm not going to put any on it quite yet. I'm just going to tell you what happened and then tell you what I think it was. And so I'm laying in bed, I'm guessing it was the wee hours at some point, and I opened my eyes, and staring at me into my eyes, making very firm eye contact, was the cat. And I call it the cat because about a second later, or a few seconds later, after this experience was over, I realized that there's no way it could have been the cat, and I'll tell you why. But anyway, so from my perspective, it seemed like it was the cat. And the cat is sitting next to me, not on the bed, but it seemed to be on the bedside table, staring at me intently, making eye contact with me intently, which would normally give you a jolt. You know, you awaken and anyone's staring into your eyes, and you get that. But I didn't get any of that. All I felt was, oh, it's the cat. What's going on? And so I'm feeling very, very calm. And it's funny because I've requested that. I often remember what happens after I'm taken, but at the moment of being taken, I am really afraid, so I often block out those memories. And I've requested that when I have experiences like this, that I be allowed to remember, but that it be a slow progression, and that I not be afraid. So, yeah, I've kind of given free rein to kind of numb me out a bit, which happens, but I wanted to remember in real time, and this is exactly what happened. So it was as per my frequent requests of late. Anyway, so I'm staring at this cat, right, making very strong eye contact, and as I'm looking at it, it takes about a second. It wasn't a complete blink out, but it just whoosh goes invisible. So I'm looking at it, and then it slowly goes invisible. Kind of reminiscent of the Cheshire Cat now that I'm thinking about it, if you've seen the images or the sequence of images about how it kind of fades out. It wasn't a blink, it was more like a fade out, and then I'm just looking at the white lampshade that it was in front of, and I thought to myself, that definitely wasn't a dream. I think that that was an ET. I must remember this and think about it when I wake up, and then I went to sleep. And so now, the reason why I know it wasn't the cat is because first it would have had to have been sitting, because it appeared to me to be sitting upright with its forelegs straight and its back legs bent. You know how cats and dogs sit like that, kind of upward. And it would have had to have been about half a foot taller than the cat actually is. So there's no way that would have happened. And secondly, it was sitting on the bedside table, but in order for that to have happened, it would have had to be sitting on a little ledge handle thing that's about this thick. It's about 1.5 inches or 2 inches thick. Or it would have had to have been sitting on the actual table where there was no space for it. There's a lamp there, there's a glass of water there, and some books. There's no way it could have been sitting there. So what I'm realizing as I'm waking up this morning thinking, oh my gosh, what was that? What happened was that as I looked where it had been and looked where its face had been, and as it was staring at me, I then measured, and it looked like it would have been about 3 feet tall, which is the size of the grays. And also I know a lot of people who kind of think there's a connection between some cats, and the grays. So now I guess I'm in that club because I know that that happened. There was no way I was asleep. I do a lot of dream work, sleep work, meditating in dreams, and I know that I wasn't dreaming. It was very, very clear. It went invisible very, very clearly and deliberately. And what I think that I was being told, because I've thought back, and also it didn't really look like the cat. It looked like a cat, but it wasn't the cat. Now that I think about the actual features of the animal, And also it's super common for greys, and I think other ETs too, but I'm not sure, I know greys, to use animals as like screens. So your mind doesn't flip out seeing something that's super duper unfamiliar and breaking a bunch of paradigms and kind of cracking your perceptions in a uncomfortably intense way. So yeah, what I think happened is I was being given proof. Well, first of all, I was being given an in because I've been requesting more conscious contact. A lot of stuff happens that I don't consciously remember, but then when people tell me that I've visited them or I've been in their dreams or I've been with them on ships or whatever, I get this funny emotional feeling so that I know that it's true. I get a feeling of, okay, you got me, the joke, you got the joke. Although my conscious mind doesn't know what's going on. So it's all this stuff is very confusing. You know, we have to combine the layers of our intellect and our consciousness in ways that aren't usually combined and haven't been in our race for a very long time for most people, myself included. So yeah, I think it was an in, and now things will be able to get more intense and I won't freak out. And also, I think that it was proof because for the past several years, like in the middle of the night, I'll be sitting in a room awake, and I'll be not even in bed, I'll be like on the computer reading or something, and I'll know that I'm not alone, and I'll know that it's not a ghost or spirit or any other type of multidimensional entity, but that's not ET. But that they're ETs in the room, and they often feel to me like small grays. My actual guides who are ETs are not small grays, but these come as well. And I've known beyond a shadow of a doubt before that if I could have said, mentally or physically, you can come out, I won't freak out, then they would have, but I've never been able to say that honestly. I probably would have freaked out. So last night, as I'm staring at this being, I wasn't freaked out at all. I was just looking at it. I was just laying there making eye contact with it. And as I think back at what its energy was, or his energy, because it did feel more masculine than feminine, he was very intent and looking at me and kind of, I think, trying to lock into my brain what was going on. Because now I know, since I saw him go invisible in front of me, I know that there were beings in the room before that weren't visible. And had I been able to say, be visible, they would have. And it was nice to be able to see that with my own eyes, the flip from visible to invisible. And also to know that I wasn't afraid at all. I didn't have to tamp down fear. There just wasn't any fear because it wasn't imposing. And there's a theory that when you ever see super clear UFOs, well, ships, because sometimes they're not unidentified, or when you see beings, it's because you've just been returned from being taken and you're allowed to get that confirmation. I haven't really had time to sit down and meditate deeply and see what else happened. But I felt super strongly that I needed to record a video and tell you guys about it and exactly what it was like, because I think that this is probably either already happening to a lot of us or is about to start. Our visitations are going to become more conscious. And also, just to remind you, they're not scary. And as far as I've been able to tell, and that I've been told when I've done investigations into it through connection with my guides, the physical stuff that happens when you're taken is to upgrade your consciousness and your physical body to take the earth changes that are happening right now. It's like upgrading your Java on your computer. The energies are so weird, and people in physical forms haven't had to upgrade this fast in possibly forever. So we're getting updates and improvements so that we can take it. Anyway, that's what I've got for you today. I know it's weird, but it happened and I felt compelled to tell you guys about it. So yeah, I hope to be able to say that more interesting things go on, and I would love to remember more of what happens, but that's all I'm consciously remembering at this point, so I just wanted to tell y'all what the deal was. Anyway, I hope you're all doing very well. 21st is right around the corner. Very strange energies going on right now. When in doubt, remember to stay very present, and also the more you are outside, the easier it is to take, and the less stagnant you feel and the less grating that you feel, or at least that I feel. So anyway, hope all is well. Blessings to you guys. Go in peace. Talk to you again very soon.